Hello, this is Jay Denson of Fit Health Well, and you are in another episode of our health and wellness podcast. And today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Olivia Frempong, and she is from Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm very happy to have her on. You know, I've known her for some time via social media. We're both from New York City. Unfortunately, with me relocating to Canada and this whole COVID mess, I didn't have an opportunity to, do runs with her and have time, but we stayed connected. She's doing very well for herself. She is a Zumba instructor and also Afrobeats. She has an Afrobeats fitness program, workout program, and we're going to get into that just shortly. And then in addition to that as well, she's doing something that I find very inspirational. And I think a lot of people would be inspired by this, but she's in the current run streak. And for those outside of the running world that don't know what that is when you decide to get up every day and go for a run, whether it's 1 mile, right? Whether it's 1 mile or 20 miles or what have you. But I find run streaks very, very interesting. And the reason being because it is a show of discipline. And when you decide 365 days of the year and beyond that you are going to decide to run every day, that means you are deciding to run in every running condition possible. Rain, sleet, snow, tired, body aching. So, you take the good and you take the bad that comes with that. So I want to tip my hat off to this sister because she is killing the game right now. And I am very, very happy to introduce her. So Olivia, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm so glad to have you on the program. So for our listeners that are just tuning in and getting to know you a bit better, just give us a background about yourself and then transition us into your fitness journey.
So my name's Olivia Frempong, as you said, straight from Ghana, West Side, Africa, big up. But I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a child of God, first and foremost, and just woman with many, many hats. So it's a blessing to be here and just talk about the wonderful things that God has been doing in my life. So about my fitness journey, I started with running about 7 years ago. I had just had my twins and I went to the doctor's office. And my husband and I actually had a loss before our firstborn was born. So I had pretty much 3 pregnancies back to back. So I piled on a lot of weight, and my twins and my firstborn are 18 months apart. So very, very busy. But, after having the twins, I remember going to my doctors to get a physical, and they took my blood pressure and it was ridiculously high. Thank goodness during the pregnancy, I didn't experience any conditions, but right after having my twins, who are currently 8 now, my oldest is 9 and a half, the doctor wanted to put me on high blood pressure medication. And so I remember sitting there like, whoa, I don't want to take no pills. Growing up in the Ghanaian culture, a lot of people are diagnosed with high blood pressure because of the food that we eat back home, a lot of carbs, and we love rice and plantain and all that. So that I knew was very prevalent within the Ghanaian community, but then I also knew that I kind of wanted to break that chain of just taking the script and feeling it and starting medications. And so my fitness journey really started with that rude awakening. I mean, because being a mom of a now 18-month-old toddler and twins, I need to be on my tip-top shape in order to take care of them. And so that was the catalyst that really started my fitness journey. And so what I did was I came home. I didn't go to the pharmacy. I didn't fill the script. I put it on my dining table and I placed it there and I looked at it for a long time. My husband said I must have stared at it for like an hour. And I was just staring at it and I prayed over it. And I went to the store next day. I went to Walmart, bought a frame, put the script in the frame and hung it up. And I just prayed that God would help me with this journey because I didn't want to take the medications. Both of my parents were on blood pressure medications, lots of family members. So I just decided I wanted to break that chain. And so what I did was, it was around the time, it was 2014, and, the marathon was becoming a big thing, especially within the Black community. And, I remember one day I was just looking through the channels and I was just so glued to the TV, seeing these people running for 26 miles. I'm like, whew, I can't even run down to the block. And growing up in the city, the only thing I would run after was like to catch the bus or to catch the train. So, you know, I just remember falling in love with that. And then I downloaded the Couch to 5K app. And that's really how my run journey started. I got hooked and it just took off from there. So yeah, that's how the running started.
That's beautiful. And then, so there's something profound that you said when you said, you know, you looked at the medication, right? Or you had the subscription and you made a decision. And I think a lot of people do this. It's I don't know how I would describe it. It's a bit of self-awareness or self-consciousness. And I've spoken to people that practice holistic medicine, you know, just which is like natural herbs and natural foods and things like that. So my question to you was, when you made the decision, I'm not going to do medication, I'm going to correct my body. You know, walk us through the steps, like, you know, how did your diet change and what were some of the positive results you've seen because of that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, having the twins in the house and my oldest, my mother was actually here from the city, helping with that, because that, you can just imagine, 3 young babies. Woo. And so I started right off the bat. I came home, I told my mother about what the doctor wanted. I told her what my heart desires were, not to take the medications. And I just started, you know, telling her that we needed to just do little simple changes. I mean, less juice. I was never a really big soda person or anything like that, but like more just drinking more water, and like as far as meals were concerned, just implementing more vegetables and decreasing the rice, you know, rice, because we go in with rice and all that. So it was really those little things that I started to do. And then like immediately, I want to say within a week or so, I started to lose weight. I felt better. I had more energy. When the twins would wake up in the middle of the night, instead of being all like groggy, I was like, okay, let's go. Boom, what's up? Like, so I immediately felt the effects of making those small changes. And so I figured, why not continue and, you know, add in, you know, the exercise component. And that's when I started with the Couch to 5K app.
Nice. And that's important, right? Because like what I like to tell people and my listeners and people listen to the program is, you know, you want to start small, right? Like, again, I was never really a huge soda drinker as well. Big advocate of water. But I think when you come from that transition, and like you said, carbs is probably one of my biggest weaknesses, but I've learned how to use them properly instead of using starchy carbs, right?
Right.
Complex carbs, a sweet potato, and things, and portion it correctly. I find that that's very important to a diet and just changing your overall mood, right? So hearing that's definitely beneficial in terms of just taking the steps in the right direction. And then talking about your transition to running, that's important too, right? Because I remembered that app. That app was really, really big. From the Couch to 5K, and you know, from those that don't know the conversion, that's pretty much 3 miles, right? Just getting up, and whether you run it or you walk it, building up that tolerance for that, and starting small. So what I'd like to ask you is, you know, when you decided to start running and you looked at people, because I remember that moment too. I think I forget, and forgive me guys, because I don't remember the exact year. The first year I decided to run the New York City Marathon was the year it was canceled. That was Hurricane Katrina, right? Yeah. So it got deferred. But I do remember seeing people, seeing our people, more Black runners. And I didn't see that. I grew up in the Bronx. And when I started running at that time, there really wasn't too many people in the Bronx running. And I've seen, as throughout the years, and even when I look back, you know, over 10 years now, there's all these Bronx running groups, and I love it, and throughout New York City.
Yeah.
Now for yourself, you decided to do a run streak. Take us back to when you decided to do it, the first day, and what was the motivation behind that?
So I think it was just after I had done my first marathon, which was NYC 2015. And one of my friends gifted me a subscription to the Runner's World magazine, and I saw that they had their annual or holiday run streak, which, you know, consists of running at least a mile from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's nice. You know, try and run, kind of beat the holiday weight gain and whatnot. I'll do that. And so I remember telling a few friends that I was going to do it. And they're like, okay, that's great. That's great. And then I think I must have fallen off after like day 4. We'll try it again. We'll try it again because they do it twice a year now, twice a year. So that's one. I'll wait for the next one. So I waited, and then in 2016, they had it from what was it, Memorial Day to July 4th. Tried it again. That time I lasted 20 days. So I'm like, okay, not quite the 40, but better than the 4. So okay, we'll see. We'll see. So finally in 2017, I was determined. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna say I'm doing it and then don't finish it. And so that time, I contacted one of my friends. I'm also the ambassador for Black Girls Run, the Albany chapter. So I started the chapter in Albany, New York. And so one of my girlfriends one of my soul sisters down in Maryland, I was talking with her about it, and she was like, listen, I'll do it with you. We'll call each other every day. You know, we'll make sure we get it done, and that'll be our thing. I was like, okay, cool. Because now I have some accountability, you know, to hold on to.
That's right.
So we started it on Thanksgiving Day. It was November 23rd, 2017. And I always do the Troy Turkey Trot. It's an annual race that's done in a local city by where I live. And as I'm running, I'm like, okay, I did it day 1. And as soon as I crossed the finish line, my girlfriend texted me. She's like, well, I did my trot. Did you do yours? Yes. And I'm like, oh, Lord, so this is going to be real. This accountability thing is going to be real. I can't back out. I can't fall off. I can't do any of that anymore. And so we did really well. We made sure we texted each other. We posted every single day, tagged each other on Facebook to be like, I got mine. Did you get yours? And we did it. And, you know, New Year's Day, we got to day 40 and we're like, okay, we did it. We accomplished it. We did like a 5K together virtually around the same time. And then I said, okay, I did it. I'm good, right? And I went to bed that night and I'm like, I did it. I accomplished it. And then when I woke up the next morning on January 2nd, my body was like, let's go. What? And I'm like, wait a minute. So I had that, you know, that unction to continue. I'm like, okay, I'll do a little mile. I'll do 1 mile just to. And Jay, it just continued. It just continued on. So my soul sister ran with me. I think she went up to 500, a little over 500 days, and then she stopped. She fell off, and then I just continued. I don't know how. I just continued every day.
I think that's amazing. Like you had that inkling, right? You set a goal, right? This is what I love, and I'm going to recap what she said because it's very important. I love for my listeners, especially for the people that are actually listening to the podcast, to digest what was said. You set a goal, you did it for 40 days, right? You crushed it. And then you said, your body was actually, you listened to your body and your body's telling you, let's go, right? And you had this inner intuition to keep going, which is amazing because I think, and I'm only guessing here, but you've already conditioned your body to do this routine. And now it's like your body's expecting it, right? And it's benefiting you. And then although you're accountable, and then the second piece to that, which is very important to anyone that's going to embark on a running streak that I think is important, is to have an accountability partner. Because you need someone to text you the night before, right, or the day and say, hey, did you get the run in, or did you do these things? And that's a lot of times. Like I'm currently in the 300 for the summer. I want to have a goal of doing 300 miles. And although I don't have an accountability partner, I like to motivate people myself. So it's good that you had that as well. So anyone that's listening that's really curious about doing something like that, whether it's a run streak or getting up and working out and having a regimen, having an accountability partner is important. Now, I want to reflect as well when you said, you felt good and you kept going. Tell me about the days when you didn't feel good. I think that's important because people, I'm telling you now, I've never done a run streak. I don't know if I will in the future. But, there are days when I do mentally, I give in when I say, I'm not going to run today. Or, I'm not going to work out. How did you combat that? And how did you keep going? Tell me about your struggles.
Well, I think for me, I'm a morning person. So one of the key things when I'm asked about how I was able to continue the streak is I like to slam it out in the morning because being a mom and I work in a hospital and I'm a social worker by profession. You never know what's going to happen at work. I work in substance abuse, so you literally never know what's going to happen. It's a very stressful environment, and I think for me it was important to keep that on the forefront, that it's not about hitting a particular goal. I mean, yeah, once I hit the 40, that was the goal, but not necessarily to be like, oh, I did my run streak because it's day, blah, blah, blah. No, it was more of internalizing the fact that the streak was more for my health, for my mental health. When you add in homework and cooking dinner and 3 babies and they got homework and this and this and this, it became my time. And I think when my twins were born, it just changed my whole mind frame of how important it is to take care of yourself. So for me, I've always kept it on the forefront that if I don't do it, I'm not going to be good to anyone in this house. Like if I'm not well with my run streak, and I know sometimes we have rough days where you don't feel like doing it. We're all human. Nobody's perfect. But for me, I have this thing within myself that it's for me. If I don't do it, I'm not going to be able to be efficient in any other of my roles. So I usually make sure that I get the streak done first thing in the morning, because again, in the evening, you never know what's going to happen. And then for me, prayer is key. I can't tell you how many days, Jay, like I really did not feel like doing anything. Like on a day that I have completely off, and let's say my cousins pick up the kids, so it's just a nice quiet house, and it's like, oh, I gotta run now. But prayer was key because when I'm weak, I call on the Lord to give me strength. And so for me, that's been honestly, that's been the one thing that's kept me going throughout this whole thing. But I think it's just making it in your mind that you're not going to give up on something. And then when you're done with your run, sometimes there's days when we don't feel like working out, but after we work out, you do feel good. And so just thinking past that pain of having to get up or whatever, and just pushing through to the end to think about how it's going to benefit you, it has kept me going.
And I think that's key. Exactly. I love that you said that. Is when you think about it, it's just all a mental barrier. Because trust me, even during the summer, as I'm doing, my miles now, I'll get up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it today. But once I do the run and I complete it, there's an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. Like I'm like, oh man, I threw up 8 miles on the board today. I put up 7 miles today, right? And you feel great about that. So guys, again, for anyone, whether, and it doesn't have to pertain to a running streak, it could just be, pertaining to your fitness goals. Just get up and do it. I think you and I are exactly on the same page where I have to do my runs in the morning. I have to because like you said, my schedule is so busy that I could lose a day just like that. And especially for someone like yourself that's on a run streak, if you want to keep that intact, the only time really undisturbed I feel like that you can have to yourself is either before that sun comes up or while it's coming up, or before you start your day. So kudos to you for that. The last thing on the run streak, the last post I seen on your Instagram, and we'll share her Instagram in a bit. I think you posted 9:59. I would assume your is that the current streak now, or is it higher than that?
Today is 9:65.
Boom, there we go, 9:65. This is being recorded, guys, so it'll be on it. But for our listeners that will be listening to this in August, I guarantee you she will be at or over 1,000. So that is, congratulations to you for that. I want to give you a round of applause because it's something, honestly, that's not only inspirational, but it shows a tremendous amount of discipline. And I think that's the reason why a lot of us, we do fail in the areas of fitness, is just the discipline aspect. We want to do it. We want to feel good. We want to look good. We want to, lead a healthier lifestyle. But the discipline factor is really, really important. So kudos to you for that. And God bless you. So many blessings to you for that. Just keep doing what you're doing. So now I want to transition to the Afrobeat virtual classes, which I think is pretty amazing. let's define what that is, right? And then how'd you come up with the concept?
So I got licensed as a Zumba instructor in 2015. It was just before I started my first marathon training. And I did that because I just wanted a different type of workout, right? As I get started with the marathon training, I heard a lot about, a lot of cross training. You got to do other things just to get your body conditioned. I'm like, okay, well, let's see. I like to dance. I mean, I had my strength training also, but I like to dance. So why not become a fitness instructor? And so I got licensed in 2015 and I just love dancing. So I figured, why not? I mean, it's fun, it's energizing. You don't feel like you're working out. Well, the way I do it. And then, and so I did that. And then I went to get certified for group fitness. And I'm from Ghana, and I think one thing that I take a lot of great pride in is trying to incorporate the culture with everything that I do. Even with running, like just to go back to running real quick, people within the Ghanaian community, I'm known as the hashtag Ghanaian runner, because I want to bring that message of bringing fitness to the Ghanaian community, while, showing the Ghanaian culture to other people that might not necessarily be exposed to it. So Afrobeats is a combination of Afro rhythms, beats, mixed in with modern music, like R&B, hip hop, so and so. So it's a meshing of those two genres. And I figured, why not? Like, it's fun.
Right, that's right.
I started my company RUNLIVFIT last year. We actually just came up on the first anniversary at the end of June. Yay! Oh my gosh! Yeah. And I actually, although I had been licensed as a fitness instructor since 2015, I was scared. I didn't want to step out of my comfort zone. When I'm at home, I'm dancing or whatever, but it took me a while to step out of my shyness because I'm a plus size woman. I take great pride in that. But I was shy at the same time. I'm a very shy person. A lot of people don't think I'm shy, but I'm really, really shy. And so I think for me, I didn't get started until last year because I wanted to overcome that. And then when I put in perspective, the purpose that God has for me, it's not about me. It's about bringing what skills and talents he's given me to share with others. And then once I really internalized that, I was like, okay, boom, let's go, RUNLIVFIT, let's go, Afrobeats. And that's how it really started. So I got, a couple of my girlfriends together. I'm the ambassador for Black Girls Run. So I got a few of the girls together. There was like 2 weeks when we had like rain pretty much every day. I rented space at my church and I said, come on out, come and sample my demo class. It's Afrobeats. My husband's a DJ, so he plays the music for every class. Like, just come on out. It's going to be fun. Let me know what you think. And they loved it. And I'm like, okay. And so because I was incorporating African dance and moves, and I always give a little history about, different places of Africa and things like that, I really saw the desire for more of that. And so here we are a year later. I was teaching at different fitness centers, and then Corona happened, and then I became best friends with Zoom. And so we're in July now, right? Yeah, for the past March when COVID hit, I've been doing free Zoom classes just to get people engaged, keep people moving. And I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, we're going through a huge pandemic. A lot of people are losing loved ones, going through depression, anxiety, not being able to get in connection with their loved ones and things like that. And so I decided to, take it upon myself to do what I could to help bring community together during these rough times. And so I've been teaching the classes online for 4 months now.
That's amazing. And I think during this time, like you said, it is very important to have that outlet, right? To have that that social activity. For anyone who hasn't seen her workouts, and she has some of it on her Instagram, which we'll share later. But you don't feel like, and I love to dance too, right? So you don't feel like you're working out, right? Because you get caught up in the rhythm. and it feels good and it feels nice, and then your reward from it is, you know, oh wow, like I'm burning calories too. So, you know, I think that's very, very special. In terms of anyone that's interested as well, are the classes free, or do you charge? Are there rates to go along with it? Just let's get into that a little bit. And then also the second part to that, is it open to everybody, or do you cater to a specific demographic?
It's open to everyone. Like I said, it's a party and everybody's invited.
Yeah,
So
nice.
that's a huge message with LiveFit. I wanted to create a fitness ministry and community that anyone could come into and feel welcome. So it doesn't matter where you're at within your fitness journey, what size you are, what color you are, you know, none of that matters. All I want is for us to come together and work together towards the goal of helping to keep our temples fit.
I love that.
Right now, all the classes have been donation based. I was doing it for free, but people, if they feel like, you know, if they want to bless, you know, us with a donation, that's more than welcome also. But yeah, we're just doing this from our hearts to just get people moving.
And I tell people too, yeah, definitely check out her classes. It's virtual. You know, definitely send her a message and she'll give you more information on how you could be part of the class. But I'm also big on donation and giving back and things like that. You know, again, she's giving her time and, you know, to put these things together and to have a space and have all of that. If you do appreciate the work, you know, definitely, you know, just donate, because that's always helpful as well. And just what I love about you, and again, just following you on social media and keeping tabs on you, you know, there's just, not only you're an amazing Black woman that's just making strides, you know, you're a certified group fitness instructor. You have this brilliant run streak going on here, as well. You're an entrepreneur, right? I want to get into also right now, I want to get into some of the products and stuff that you sell, because, you know, there's a lot of good stuff that you sell, just in terms of just not, I would assume from your culture, but, you know, there's people also that's always looking for products. And I think right now with the climate of Buy Black, there are people, and not only just us, but people outside that are not Black that want to support Black businesses. So this is a very important time, and we are definitely shining lights in that regard. So tell us a little bit about how'd you get into, you know, just the retail side of it, and the products that you're selling, and what is it that you're offering?
Okay, so my sister and I in 2015, it was right when I started marathon training. I'm like, okay, so I have my natural afro and I'm doing all this running. What am I supposed to do with my hair to maintain it? And so, Black women in our hair.
Yeah.
Topics. I'm gonna be doing all this running. I need to figure something out.
Hair got to be right.
So my sister and I started a social media page called Africans Gone Natural. That was the name that we came up with. And it was just a social media platform to help encourage women and help share ideas, and just to collectively bring women together to share how they're maintaining their hair, what products they're using, and things like that. And so that grew tremendously. And, you know, I realized I wasn't the only person trying to figure out what to do with my hair. You know, there were a lot of women all over the world that, you know, expressed interest. And so we you know, we wanted to dig deeper and do something more. And, you know, we went to Ghana, and we discovered a village, a co-op in the northern region of Ghana. And Jay, I tell you, these women are amazing. From sunrise to sunset, they're up, they're picking shea nuts from trees. They're handcrafting everything by hand. When I tell you everything by hand. And so we decided in line with Africans Gone Natural and helping women to learn how to use natural products, we decided to design our own product line as well. And so in 2017, Afri-Kinky was born. Afri standing for products made from Africa, kinky symbolizing Black women's kinky hair. So Afri, we trademarked it, got it all registered, and we created this partnership with the Women's Cooperative. And our goal really is to help give back to the women in the community. When I tell you how dedicated how passionate they are about the work that they're doing. There's just no words that can really amount to it. And so all the products that we distribute are all natural. So we have black soap, African black soap. We have shea butter, shea oil, neem powder, neem oil, baobab oil, and all of these products are good for your hair and skin. And that's pretty much all that I use. And I always get compliments on my skin, and I always tell them it's a gallon of water a day and African kinky. So that's the secret to my skin regimen. I never wear makeup, and just in partnership with the women, our goal is to really build their communities, help give back. We've been able to send lots of things to the children that are there, send them to schools, get them affordable health care. So we're like really on a mission to help build and just give back. So we have a dual mission. So we're a social enterprise to help encourage the use of all natural products so that you don't have to worry about 10 years from now, a company saying, oh, if you used product X, you might have cancer. You're not going to have to worry about that. Go back to being natural, use natural products. You're not going to have to worry about any of those things. And then the second mission is to help empower the women that are handcrafting the products.
And I love that as well too. Like you said, you just hit it right on the head in terms of just knowing where, your products came from, right? Like you can take away that fear of like, what chemicals are in this product, right? What are the long-term effects of that? You're getting, actual raw natural products, which is amazing. And what I love even more is that you're buying black. Like I think there's a level of ignorance on our part in terms of, we want to buy black, but then we later learned that like, wait a minute, we thought this was a black product, but it's not, right? Like this is a big corporation and the CEO of that corporation, and no offense to anyone who's not black, but if it's a white person, you intended to buy this product and support, black people. And like you said, to make sure that like when the fundraising or the give back portion of it is going to the places, right, that it derived from.
Absolutely.
So I love that. That's very important. We're going to get into that once we close this interview on how they can get those products from you. The last question I have for you, and this will go, I'll just transition a little bit back to the running because you said, one of your many hats is the ambassador of Black Girls Run in Albany. And I got familiar with that group as well too when I was in New York City. I used to see them all the time, and I was like, well, where's the Black Men's Run Club? And she was like, oh, they have one. And that was the first time I ever heard about Black Men's Run was from the Black Girls Run. So what I want to ask you is let's get into that a little bit. Anyone that's interested in signing up, whether it's in Albany or you have these young girls, right? These young girls of color. And they're getting into running and they want to stay fit. How can they be a part of that?
So definitely go to blackgirlsrun.com. Black Girls Run started in 2009 when two sisters in Atlanta, Georgia wanted to help beat the health disparities with African-American women. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women of color. And so they got together and they just started this run group to help empower and encourage women to just meet, have that accountability, run, walk, do what you gotta do, but know that you have a group of sisters that are gonna be there to support you. So to this day, there are a plethora of different chapters throughout the whole country. And so to join, and membership is free. We just, all it is we just want you to come on in. And BGR is so welcoming. Go to blackgirlsrun.com and then you can go search by your state and city, and then you'd be able to get in touch with your local ambassador.
And if for whatever reason, whether it's in the United States or in Canada, if there's anyone that wants they want to open a chapter, right, in an area that doesn't exist, let's just say, for example, they have a group of Black people and they want to be associated with Black Girls Run. How do they go about that?
Harass the CEO. So for me, just to give you a little background, for me, when I was qualifying in 2014 for the 2015 marathon, I was coming down to the city every month because you got to get those the qualifying races, and that's how I connected with BGR in New York City. And so for me, like to see that family, that you know, the power that these women have, knowing that somebody's waiting for you at the finish line, or if you're struggling to get to the finish line, knowing that you're gonna have associates that come back to get you, that was everything for me. And so when I fell in love with BGR NYC, I joined them, you know, locally, and I would literally travel from Albany to New York City, sometimes 3 times a month on the weekends, just to run with that group, because that's how important the family has become for me. And so what I did was I tracked down the CEOs and I said, listen, I'm from Albany. We have Black women here too that, you know, are ready, willing, and able to, you know, join the run group. So if you are interested, you can send inquiries. I believe it's info@blackgirlsrun.com, and then you can get in touch with JL Alexander, who's the CEO and owner of the company now.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And again, if there's any you know, women of color, I don't care what age you are, whether you're young or older, and you want to get involved in a community-based thing as Black Girls Run, or just any group as well. It's amazing. Like Olivia just said, and anytime you drive from Albany to New York City, which is like how long? I want to say 6 hours, right? It's a bit of a drive.
No,
is it less?
It's like 2.5.
Oh, is it? Okay. Because I know when I was driving to Canada from New York City to Buffalo, I think it was about close to like 6 or 7 hours, right?
Yeah,
so it felt, I didn't realize how big New York State was itself, right? There's 2 different New Yorks, right? Like New Yorkers that grew up in New York City, and then there's this rest of this whole state, right? And I'm like, as I'm driving up north, I'm like, man, I'm still in New York. Like if I would have went in any other direction, I would have hit 2 or 3 different states.
Right.
But to touch back on what you said, I think you said something that was key, which the importance of a running group is, you know, it's great you want to go out there, you want to do it solo, but I found at the time when I did do it prior to leaving New York City, one of the best parts about being part of a running group or just a running community is having those people at that no man or woman left behind mentality, and they waiting for you or they're cheering you on. And some of the things that the guys would do is when they would have the women's the race in Central Park, and we'd come out and we'd support Oakley. The women, right? Yeah, we do the Oakley. We come out and we support the women as well, and things like that. So it's a great community atmosphere. And if you need that accountability, it's definitely something you should look into. So Olivia, we're going to wrap this up, and definitely I want to give you the opportunity this is your time to shine. This is your time to talk about all of the stuff that we discussed today. We'll talk about we'll share your socials. And then after we share your socials, I want you to tell everyone how they can tune into your Zoom Afrobeats. And then I want you to close it out as well with your products and where they can get them.
Okay, so it was an honor and a pleasure to be with you today, Jay. I appreciate you. You're doing awesome. And I pray that God continues to bless you on your journey as well. My name is Olivia Frempong, and you can contact me on Instagram at RUNLIVFIT for the fitness side of me. RUNLIVFIT, LIV. So it's RUNLIVFIT. In regards to the all-natural products, you can reach us at AfriKinky, which is AFRIKINKY, and also Africans Gone Natural. So those are the Instagram pages. In order to connect with me in regards to the Afrobeat classes or any of the Zumba classes that I'll be doing, children's classes that I'll be doing, you could reach me on Facebook at Live Fit. And there's a private group there and a public page where you can, get all the up-to-date information about upcoming classes for the week and daily inspiration. Because I think that's important as a family, knowing that some of us might be going through things, and if I share something, it might touch you to get up, move, or drink water or anything like that. So on Facebook, it's Live Fit. AfriKinky as well on Facebook. And then to order any of the AfriKinky products, it's www.afrikinky.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then also in terms of your product, do you ship outside of the United States? So like, for example, Canada or anywhere else? Okay. That was important. That was definitely important. I want to make sure either for myself, also for myself, and anyone that's listening that's not in the United States, that she does ship outside the United States. So that's very good to hear. Good, beautiful. So I'm so glad to hear that. Olivia, thank you so much for being on the show. Again, I am grateful and I am thankful that you decided to spend time with us today and share your story with our listeners. You are an example of motivation and inspiration. You have these goals, you set them forth, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Thank
proud of you.
you.
This is
Amen.
yeah, we already have an online connection, but again, once COVID and stuff gets lifted, and we'll run into each other and we'll arrange some stuff. But this is going to be an ongoing relationship that we have, because I want to see your
Absolutely.
progress. I want to see your progress.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much for being on the show. And again, for anyone that was listening to the information, if you may have missed it, listening to this podcast, we have a YouTube channel. So I will have all her information on the YouTube channel. So make sure that you go to the YouTube channel to watch the live version of it. And please subscribe. We are trying to build our YouTube channel up, and we are trying to build up our Instagram as well. And for those loyal listeners that have been listening, again, I want to thank you for tuning in every week. Every Friday, we release a new episode. And for our new listeners, you can follow us on Instagram at fit.health.well. Also, our Facebook page is the same thing, fit.health.well. Our Twitter is fithealthwellca. And then also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or you have any show ideas, or you just have any questions in general, you can shoot us an email at fithealthwell@gmail.com. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys for listening to the program. The user engagement's been great. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful for every download. And we're going to continue to keep bringing you content as it relates to health and wellness, because that's our mission, is to serve the needs of society by doing so. God bless everybody. God bless you, Olivia, and your efforts, and keep pushing. You're going to be great. And I want to thank my listeners for tuning in. And until the next episode, have a great day.
Thank you.